At POSB, we believe in empowering every individual to reach their full potential. From children to youths, informal workers to professionals, startups to large enterprises, and farmers to retirees, POSB has financial solutions for everyone. Welcome to the Business Focus, proudly brought to you by the People's Own Savings Bank, POSB.
Good morning and welcome to Business Focus. We discuss a lot of what's happening in the world of business with Kudzie Sharara, Monday through to Friday right here on Capitalk. You have questions, comments, please feel free to come on our WhatsApp platform 0719-100404. Good morning, Kudzie. How are you?
Good morning, Tinashe. How was your weekend? I know it was spelled last minute.
Yeah, last minute, you know. But it
was a good show, though.
It was a good show.
Bad. Yeah.
I was actually looking at the statistics itself.
Yeah.
United in better position.
Yeah, we played really well as United. I would rather we lose, but bora racho richooneka kwete last season rekuti bora racho muri kuluza apa harisi kutombooneka vanhu can't string just two passes.
Yeah, true. Same as Amorim, the coach said, we lost Edu, but we were not boring.
But it won't. Yeah, hopefully it won't be like that the whole season. Everything.
Yeah. Let's rewind to the 15th of August 2025. That was on a Friday, and check out how the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange traded.
Thank you, Tinashe. So the ZSE Osha Index losing by a margin of 0.62%. Top 10 Index coming off by 0.6%. This was on the back of losses in first FBC, which lost 7.14%. Star Africa losing 6.99%. Econet dropping 0.47%. TN and Hippo also shedding, but by less than 1%. And then on the upside, OK Zimbabwe up by 8.96%. And I think investors are anticipating that the group, having managed to raise 20 million so far, will be able to start restocking some of its stores and return to good business or fully stocked outlets. And then ZSC Holdings recovering from its losses, up by 7.19%. Remember, ZSC Holdings was listed this year, and so far in the year it has already lost about 40.1%. But Friday was a recovery day with a 7.19% gain. CBZ coming off by 0.8%. Gaining 0.85%. Delta also on the positive, as well as Tanganda, but with gains of less than 1%. And then just looking at the VFX, it was up by 0.26%. So that's how the ZSC traded, with about 26.2 million ZiG worth of shares changing hands in Delta. The rest of other counters didn't get much in terms of investments, with OK coming second with 326,000 ZiG. Econet 168,000 ZiG, and then Mikus and CBZ also getting a sizable chunk of the funds that were invested. So nothing much changing there on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. The market continues to trade sideways. I'm seeing the CEO of the ZSC, Justin Boni, trying to educate the public about investing. He has been taking to Twitter. He said he's going to do a 7-day educational thing on Twitter. So he started yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday, just sharing some insights and nuggets about investing on the stock market and why it's important to invest on the stock market. But it shouldn't be your primary or all alone income. It's a income diversification strategy. You need several lines of income that you need. There are actually different types of incomes, Tinashe, that one can generate. Do you know some of the, or maybe if I can ask you a personal question, is how many income streams do you have, and do you know how do you separate them in terms of type? Earning, earning an income, because why? This is the money made from working a job, so it's an earning. The next one. Yes, there's also profit, which is money made from selling a product or service. That is which profit, another type of income. And then there is interest. Interest is earned by lending money. And this is can always an individual but if you are running let's say a bank or a microfinance institution, the income that you earn is an interest. So yes, we get then that's interest income. And then rental income is where you buy a property you put tenants, and then they pay you rent. That's rental income. That's money that comes to you as rent. So tapa number 4, 30 earned income, profit income, interest income, rental income, and then capital gains. No paper stock market where you invest in a share, and then when it gains, you invested $10 and it gains to $12. You have gain. That's $2 extra is capital gains, and then dividend, where you invest in a company, the company makes some profit and it distributes that profit. That's dividend income. And then kunema royalties as well, and by owning a license or intellectual property. Intellectual property, you
want to
make others use it and pay. If you want to use it, pay me. That's royal income. So royalty income. So that about that's 7 types of income that one can have. So,
but at the same time, on the 7 that you spoke about, Kudzi, can we say my ordinary bank accounts fall into the interest income?
Yes, because well, you must. It might not be a positive real income, interest income. For example, if inflation is higher than the interest you are earning, then it's not. But again, maybe something that people don't know, there is actually a minimum that the Reserve Bank has prescribed to say, ukaisa in a savings account, kana iri zigi. The minimum you can get, which means that a bank note of an something is about, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's about 5%, right? That's the minimum you should get. And then if it's a fixed income, the minimum you should get is 7.5%. So in your Zig account, the minimum savings in a savings account is 5%. If it's a fixed deposit account, you must get 7.5%.
But
like iriko interest.
But you know not interest your iriko. I believe it's there on papers. Because zvinozoitika kudzi ndezvekuti inini kainterest kangu ndakapuwa kaike ndoka vari kuteerera futi vachinorowa mabank charges saka handina chandiri kubenefita pazviri.
That's true. So you need to study your account and it dara wainoti ndiripewo statement yangu and then vokucharger futi upewa statement. But now you can look online. You can have your account online. You look at your statements. Tarisa kupera kumwedzi kuti mubank mangu account mangu mamine mari yanga irimo mwedzi wese mamine balance yakati and did it any interest, and it's per annum though. So 5 after about 5%, it's 5% per annum. So you need to look at whether your bank is crediting you with that income.
But not as much as we're talking about all those mama services that no provide in the banking system. Should I be charged? Kungocheka account yangu online. Because unocheka kudai utonozi ukacheka balance yako. I'm trying to check on my mobile account right now as we're speaking. Right? I want to see
whether we are going to be charged.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Tinashe, is that these banks, I don't know whether it's true or not, or they are just trying to justify charging us. They say that most of the systems that they are using, they're actually systems, licenses and whatever that they've bought from outside Zimbabwe. They actually pay, maybe it's a monthly fee or an annual fee. And they're saying, no problem, every day you go check account. Balance yapa kafaifi uchitarisot mari yako yapindera apa haina, because so you're clogging clogging the system. So they
that chinoita ndirambe ndichicheka more times, like 5 times in a day. It's because sometimes mari inopinda and I don't get a notification.
You don't get a notification.
So the only way I can get the notification is to keep checking.
Yeah. So the banks justify that with our system itakatoitengawo and tinotochajwa mari wherever kuchishandiswa kwairi kutoitwa tochajwa mari. That's their justification. But I think as Zimbabweans, I think tinopana vanogona kuzviita irikugadzira masystems ari cheaper than masystems atiri kutenga kunyika kunze anodhura. Yes. And I've seen a lot of financial institutions, a couple of financial institutions, they've actually diversified from just core banking. They've opened, I know FBC have done that, I know NMB have done that, where they've opened vehicles or some business units. I know are tech driven, want to gather their own systems. So hopefully in future tinotanga kuona kudzikira kwema bank charges, because that's where most banks are actually making money from in terms of my bank charges. Yeah.
All right, Kudzi, thank you so much for that. Still with banking, last week we were talking about banks and their performances. What about microfinance institutions?
Interesting Tinashe, because I think a lot of Zimbabweans kumabengu avanyanya kufarira vazhinji avatorina ma-account, but microfinance institutions, so microfinance institutions those are institutions that provide you with micro loans, tuma loans tudiki tumwe tuya or vamwe vanoti microcredit. They are mostly provided to low income individuals or groups who otherwise wouldn't have access to financial services. Yeah, but it seems that there are a lot of, if you compare June 2024 and June 2025, there is actually a slight drop in the number of outstanding loans, which means that people are paying their loans. But in terms of people who are accessing, in fact, number of active loan clients, number of loans from these microfinance institutions. In June 2024, they were about at 400,000 people who had taken loans from these micro finance institutions. But that number went up from that 400,000 to 510,000. So more people going to these microfinance institutions to get loans.
Why? So what are the attributes?
I think like we were saying, access to banks. There is a lot of people cannot. If you go to a bank, maybe you don't qualify to get a loan. But yane collateral yako yane fridge. Twitter say talk per loan. So you find a lot of people find it easier to go and get, because my security, my microfinance loans is much better than my banks. And in fact, most banks are they do not go into that kind of business. So to my smaller loans, to my microfinance institutions. So it depends. I'm not sure. Maybe you're not privy to the why number from 400,000 to 500,000 people going to these microfinance institutions, because probably one varutsvaga mari yekukavhira panenge pashota, or maybe one varutsvaga mari yekutotanga business. So it's maybe something that we need further details to see why was that number higher. And then the number of female borrowers, madzimai in 2024 vanga vari 176,000, but yakati kwirei to 216,000 madzimai ari kuenda kunotsvagawo maloans from these microfinance institutions. Number iyi yemadzimai inowanzotariswa serei, because they are looked as the disadvantaged, female women empowerment. Yes, so they are likely to go and get these loans. But vanhu vanonyanya kuereta, unofunga kuti age group ipi Tinashe? I'll give you my number of my age groups: 18 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and then 51 to 60. Unofunga kuti ava do group rinonyanya kuereta nderipi? 18 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, then 51 to 60. Which group, age group do you think?
I want to miss it. I think the 41
to 50.
41 to 50.
Yeah, well, they are second.
They are second.
They come second.
So 31 to 40.
Yes, 31 to 40. Because about 828,000 vakanotsvaga zvikwereti vari varume, and then 452,000 vari madzimai.
Varume kubva zvipande here kana kuti ma-responsibilities?
Probably my responsibilities, but also then you have the highest number of women also borrowing. Ipapo pa 31. I think ndo team inoita kubhilivhisana futi. And I think ndo panoda kubhilivhisa. Apart my responsibilities manje anenge anyazouya manje. These are people maybe just starting just maybe vana vakutanga kuenda secondary school. When you are in your 30, 31, 40, or vana vakuenda ma secondary school, my responsibilities akuwanda. Maybe that's why. But you can tell us why 31 to 40. Why do you think they borrow so much?
Okay, let's hear from you. You can come through on our WhatsApp platform. If you're within the age of 31 to 40, according to this survey of microfinance institutions,
from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe,
ndimi muri kukwereta zvakanyanya. Muri kuwana mari dzamunonotora pamwe zvimbadzo achichi whatever. Munenge muchinyanya, what is the main reason why you go for those kind of loans?
Yes, and vanoteerwa neve 41 to 50 vari kuma 708,000 vari varume, 361,000 ari madzimai.
Hanzi group iri haizi age group yekukwereta kuslayer chete here.
Slaying, kubhilivhisa.
Hanzi age group yedu iyi, saka pane nyaya apa. hanzi mafiriji nezvibatiso zviri kunyura vanhu vatadza kudzora nekuti marates avo akakwira zvakanyanya.
Yeah, actually when you look at kuti ndezvipi zvinhu kunyanya kushandiswa navanhu kunokwereta tinashe mahouseholds ndo akanyanya, household goods ndo akanyanya. Then private vehicles at number 2, about 2,597 vehicles dzakaenda kunobatiswa zvikwereti 2,597 vehicles ndo ari panumber 2.
hanzi ndo age group iri kuroora saka kukwereta kunoroora.
Every time I do those financial literacy educational seminars, that's one thing I always give as an example. Unokweretera kunoroora. Imba yenyu iyoyo munotanga imagine imba inotanga tinacho chingoti muchingobva kunochata nditi muchitanga imba yenyu manoko anenge achinge anoka wese kumari yangu aufa.
Roller squad rinenge chida kuunganidza kuti zvinhu zviite saka ndotondokwereta kuti zvibude because pamwe madam ndo vanenge vachida zvese izvi kuti tizviite. Iwewe as a man probably you don't want, but madam ndo vari kuti no toda kutoita roller squad.
Ndangurwa nemadzimai, maybe madzimai anogona kupinda kuti ndimuri kupa pressure. Ndimuri kupa pressure nemaroller squad yakana kuti aiwa.
Let's try to pick calls.
Yes.
Let's try to pick calls in the next 3 minutes and hear from you. Please call us in and let's see somebody's already on the line. Good morning on Business Focus.
Morning Shumba.
Musha mukamboyere mukoma muri pa age group iri kunyanya kukwereta here.
Ndipo pandiri chaipo uri kuona imanje. Ndo age group ine zvivindi.
Okay.
Kweta zvivindi kuriska. Vanhu ndo age group inogona kuriska chero kwatarisa maambuari. Ndo pavari baba.
Okay.
Samunokwereta kuti mutange business here kana kuti munokwereta kuconsumer.
Zvinoita manje zvinozosiyana nemunhu manje. Because vanhu vava ukacherechedza unotokwereta because mari yake idoro inenge yatopera. Zvinosiyana.
Imi makambokwereta here mukoma?
Inini manje ndaida kukwereta but ndakaona kuti mari dzacho dzandiri kupiwa zvishoma saka ndakazorega kukwereta.
Okay.
Yeah, because my interest is such a high as well.
Start a business. Ndoona. Saka kana ukaona kuti mari iyi haikwanisi kustarta business, I don't need to kwereta.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mkoma. Good day to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Let's hear others. Please call us in and let's hear from you. If you are in the age group 31 to 40 or any other group, ya muri kukwereta, muri kunyanya kukwereta mchida kuishandisa mari iyo for what? Let's hear from you. Call us in on 0772-269-229 or 241. Let's hear from you. Waiting up for those calls to come around.
Sakanzi my interest rates ari kuma microfinance anonyanya range mazhinji acho ari pa range of 7% to 15% per month. Yeah, isisiri per annum, yeah, per month 7 to 15%, but Reserve Bank inoti iyo kune vamwe vari kurova kuma 25% and ivava vari kuongororwa kunzi chii chiri kuita kuti vachaje mari yakawanda.
Okay. Good morning on Business Focus.
Good morning, Tinashe.
Morning, sir. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Pressure inenge iripo inyaya yemaviazi. Especially kumaviazi ndokuri kukwadza baba.
Okay, dzikisai volume yeradio yenyu tinyatsokunzwa. Muri kukwereta kumbonorova mabhiazi?
Especially nini ka pressure yemaviazi. Team inenge ichitorova mabhiazi waiziyo. Apa ende ndakaomerwa baba ndokopedza senge ndotokwara nekanonzi kazimulo nako akatipedza baba.
All right, Mkoma.
Apa marets acho shamari ma1.
All right, Mkoma, ndoda kumbobvunza what is the highest amount of money that you've gone kumbonokwereta?
So far ndakwereta $60.
$60. Yesa makapera muchirova zvenyu mawise waters.
Ende ndoidemba manje mari iyo uri rwadza zvoti hey blinga nevakomana seu hey. Yakuzozorwadza pakubhadhara baba.
Iribo Mkoma, thank you so much for your contribution.
Alright, keda padeliboard apo.
Iribo keda, bye-bye. Right.
Yemabias.
Yeah.
Unokwara mbona.
But in
consumption, kweretera consumption.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think.
But by the time you also know ibhadhara, chawakakweretera uchida kudya chachino chatopera futi.
Yeah.
Saka inenge yakurwadza. Just a quick one, Kudzi, coming in from Sekruba Bafei. Anzi, is it not a good idea as a SADC region to form a Southern Africa Development Bank, SAD Bank? a bank for SADC region.
I think it's a good idea because depending on these other banks, yes. But whether you borrow from SADC, Europe or what, but issue ndeyekuti unofana kukwanisa kudzosera zvikwereti. Tikapota chidzorera zvikwereti, chikakwereta I think we will develop better as a region.
Okay. All right, Segruba Buffet, hopefully you've been answered on that one. Thank you so much for a business focus for today, proudly brought to us by POSB. Let's discuss again tomorrow.
Business Focus with Kudzie Sharara on the Champions League Breakfast.